Hey everybody, welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Today we are going to show you guys how to cut and draw. So we're going to use one of those really pretty mandala designs, which are really fun, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to Google one on, If I could spell, we'd be doing a lot better. So for this one, I'm just going to show you guys a simple one, just so it doesn't take forever. But you guys can do these as intricate as you want. So I'm just going to use this guy because he looks pretty easy. So all we're going to do is we're going to right click Save Image As, ignore the software update. I'm going to put this one into my Cricut folder, and I'm just going to call it mandala. So we'll do that. So we'll save it. We just need to go back to the design space, and we're going to click New Project. And it'll open a blank canvas, and then we're going to click Upload. We're going to go ahead and upload our image. I did previously try it, so you'll see it in my uploaded images, but I never finished it. I just wanted to make sure that that was a good one to use for you guys so it didn't take forever. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to find it in my Cricut folder. I have a lot of stuff in there. I usually with these will pick simple, just because there's not a lot to them, but you can see on this one it made the lines kind of wavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit Replace Image and just find the image again and put it back in there because I don't want it to lose any of that crisp shaping. So I'm just going to use Complex. It's fine either way. So what you're going to do is it default opens your magic wand. So you're just going to click on all of your blank white space because you want to see the checkerboard behind all of your parts. Like I said, this is kind of the most tedious part, but because I picked sort of a simpler design, this one's not going to take quite as long as some of the others. But what you'll want to do is you just want to make sure that you get every part that's white so that you can see the checkerboard. You want to leave the outline, and some of these I'll have to zoom in on because they're kind of small and I don't want to accidentally click on the black, but if you do, you can just hit the undo button, which is up in the upper right hand corner. But I'll show you guys how to zoom in as well because I'm not going to do some of these thinner lines without being zoomed in because they are a little bit thin and it could be easy to mistakenly click the wrong thing. So I'm just going to get all of my big spaces first. And usually what I kind of try to do is go in a little bit of a pattern so that I don't miss anything. But sometimes you'll miss things and you'll see it when you go to hit preview or when you save it, so you can just go back and erase it. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit and get the bottom. You want to make sure you get the background around the outside of it. And this is going to be our first step to doing this. And I'm going to show you guys how you can make it so that it's going to cut out your shape too. It's really easy, really, really fun. What's really cool with this is you can kind of make these your own coloring pages. So now I need to zoom in because I need to get rid of all of this interior junk. Or you could actually leave it, but I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you what happens when you preview it. So I didn't take out the centers on these ones down here so you could see, and then here you get kind of a fat line. So it just depends on how you guys want yours to look. You could leave the centers if you like the chunky line. I don't. I kind of like that I could color those in or do whatever with them or that they're open. So I'm going to go through and zoom in and just get rid of all these little spots. To zoom in, you just come up to the upper right hand corner and click the little eyeglass or the magnifying glass, and you'll just click that a couple times however close you want to be. And then like you just did before, you're just going to click out all of the white on the smaller portions. It's a little, like I said, this is a little bit tedious. There are other ways to do this, and you can do these in Inkscape and things like that, but I know a lot of people still don't quite understand Inkscape, and it's kind of a lot to explain in a short video, and since I want to show you guys how to draw this, I didn't want to spend the time showing you guys how to do Inkscape. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out, and I'm going to use my preview button again just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I think it looks pretty good. Looks like I got everything. So I'm going to hit continue. And this time I want to save it. Doesn't really totally matter, but I'm going to save it as a print and cut image. Don't worry, we're not printing, we're going to write it. So it's going to take a second to save, especially as a print and cut because it's a little bit more detailed. And then you can either do one of two things. You can just upload the image again. And in this case, we'll just do that so I can show you. But I'm going to upload the image again. And you don't have to do it this way. You could just use a circle shape in Design Space, but I'm going to show you how to do it this way. So I'm just going to insert the image again complex. I'm going to hit continue, but this time I'm just going to get rid of this outside, and then I'm going to hit continue. This time I'm going to save it as a cut, which is this grayed out circle. Don't worry that you can't see the detail. We don't need to, because we just need it to cut in the same size. So I'm going to hold control and click both images, and I'm going to insert my images. And you'll see that you have this one, and you'll see you have your circle. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my mandala over here to a draw, which you click over here into your layers tab, and where you see the little printer icon right here, you click on him. Really, you can click anywhere, and then you're just going to click where the little pen is, where it says write, and then you can change your color. I think I'm just going to do them in black just so you guys can see them really well. And I have a thin tip marker or pen, so I'm just going to do it in this 4-point tip. Just so you guys can see better, I'm going to change my circle to a different color. I'm just going to make it light blue. And what you're going to do is you're going to line the two up so that they match up. And this sometimes just takes a little tweaking, and that's kind of why I use the same circle. And I just upload it twice, because that way it cuts where your circle is. Like I said, sometimes this is just a little bit of like playing around and tweaking it. You can try to use the grid to help you a little bit. I think that's it's probably about as even as it's gonna get. It is hard to see, but it's fine. So all we're gonna do now is I'm gonna select both pieces, and down here in this lower right hand corner you're gonna click the word attach. What that's going to do is it's going to tell your Cricut that these are going to be technically one piece in the same area. And I'm going to do mine on a cardstock so that you guys can see it. So all we have to do now is click the word make it, and you'll see that it shows us on our screen. That's a pretty good size, I think, for just showing you guys. I'm going to grab some cardstock. I'm going to load it on my mat, and we can get started on loading our pen. I'll show you guys how to do that, and then we can get started on making it. Okay, I have loaded my cardstock on my mat. I'm using my blue mat so that it's easier to get my cardstock off. And I'm going to move you guys a little bit closer because I want you to be able to see the pen. So the pen goes in A. You're going to open the little door that says A, and you're going to take your Cricut pen, obviously take the cap off, and when you place your pen, what I do is I put my finger under the housing, and I press my pen in with my other hand. And you're going to hear it click. Once it clicks, it's in. Make sure you close your housing or your pen will not write. So we're going to go ahead, and I've got it set on cardstock because that way when it cuts it, it'll cut the cardstock setting versus trying to cut the vinyl setting. So I'm just going to click continue on my screen, and it does tell us to load our pen on our screen, and we're going to go ahead and click the go or the load button. We'll load our mat, and then we're going to click the go button, and I'm going to bring you guys nice and close so you guys can see, and I'll see if I can move this light a little bit so that you guys can see this better. Well, it's too much light. There we go. Maybe you can see it better that way. But what this is doing now is you can see that it is drawing the outside of our circle. And the beauty with this is you can do this on any color cardstock you want, or you can do this on with different colored pens if you wanted to. I'm just using black so that it shows up really nicely on the camera for you guys. But you guys can be really creative with these, and then you can always go back in and design, you know, your own colors. You can color them in. Like I said, these are great for making your own coloring pages and things like that. It's going to take a while to write this, just so you guys are aware. This isn't going to be a quick, simple, over and done thing. So I'm going to go ahead and get this going, and I'm going to fast forward through it so you guys can watch it cutting in fast forward. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I always unload my pen first because I don't want it to dry out, and sometimes I do tend to forget. So all you do is unclamp, pull your pen out, put your cap back on. Then we're going to unload our mat. So I'll move you guys back a little bit, zoom you back out so that you guys can see what it did. So I'm going to take our mat out, and you can see that there's our drawn mandala, and then all I'm going to do is peel this part because that's just extra. And this is our drawn on a mandala, and I'll pull it off the cards, the backing. So to stop your cardstock from bending, you can actually remove your mat from your cardstock. So what I do is I lay my mat face down, and then I just kind of bend it away from the cardstock versus the cardstock away from the mat itself. So it's pretty easy to do. But here is our cutout of our mandala. You guys, this was so easy, super fun. You can do this with lots and lots and lots of fun shapes, characters, things like that, anything you want to draw. So you can easily draw a fancier one, you can draw one that has scallops, whatever you want to do. Just make sure that when you do it, you remove all the white space for the draw one, and then just the background for the cut part. Especially if you're using one that has like a different kind of border, you'll just want to use that same shape and then put it behind your other shape. I hope you guys had a really wonderful time learning how to draw these with your Cricut. It was a lot of fun teaching you. If you have any questions, please make sure to leave those questions below. I try to answer them as quickly as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos all the time. Hit that little bell button. That'll let you know when I post a new video. And I really hope you guys had a wonderful time.